Okay, so we'll continue on here. So now we have a balance sheet that we're going to do. So we're going to set up here. Um, and first question is, what is the capital? So all we need to do is take our current capital here, add any revenues, and subtract any expenses and withdrawals. I'm just going to grab a calculator and kind of get started on that. Copy this out here. So right, so I said we'll take the capital. We're going to add any revenue. So I've got a rent revenue here. But I've got any other revenue. Doesn't look like any other revenues. So that would bring us to, if I add the rent revenue in the capital, 814,180. And now we're just going to reduce that total with our expenses and our withdrawals. So I've got Wyatt North withdrawals, utilities expense, office supplies expense, office salaries expense, got janitorial expense, interest expense, got two depreciation expenses, and I have an advertising expense. And I get an updated amount of 527.75. We'll find out if that's the right answer here because we can find out if we balance at the end, if that's what we get. So our start with our current assets, and I'm just going to look through here and look for my assets in order. So we've got our cash at 17,000. Got our office supplies of 700. Rent receivable of 16,000. Assume that 215,000 long-term notes payable are due in March. Okay. And 55,000 notes receivable will be collected March 31st. We have our current portion of this of 55,000. And check this again. So we had accounts payable, no, that's not cash. Current portion of our notes receivable, our office supplies. Ooh, we have prepaid advertising here. Good. 400. Now our long-term investments, we have our notes receivable less our current portion. So we've already included 55,000. And that would leave us with 143 less 55,000. And then we've got our property, plant, and equipment. Let's start with land here, 110,000. We got our building at 591. That's our accumulated depreciation of 25,000 for a balance of 586. Furniture, that's our accumulated depreciation. So our furniture was 42,800. Depreciation of 3,500. And we've got our brand name here. The brand name was for 3,000. 895.4. So we'll be able to check that in a bit here. And we've got our accounts payable, 9,100 under current liabilities. And what else? Our current portion of our long-term note payable. And that is at 215,000. See if we have any other payables. Salaries payable right here. $26.25. And do we have any other ones here? Sorry. Interest payable. Yeah, we do. Interest payable of 900. We have our notes payable, so we put 215 here. We don't want to include the whole amount. Notes payable, 362 minus 215. And here we can see if we balance. So 520,775. And we do balance. So we can basically check to see if our answer is correct. We've got it all there. Perfect. Okay, and then it just wants to know the current ratio and the debt to equity. I don't know if in the form in the we haven't really gone through any of the ratios. Current ratio is just the current assets minus the or divided by the current liabilities. So 89,100 divided by 227,625.39. The debt to equity. So that's just our debt divided by our equity. So our liabilities from our equity. So that would be 374 divided by 520. That's 374,625 divided by 520. I don't think I'm, so 0.72. I don't think I've got anything on here for you guys for ratios, but if it is, it'll be worth very, very little. Put on. And so here we're going to be doing an income statement. Balance on the unadjusted trial. So this is requiring you to do your trial balance first. So this would mean we're going to do a few journal entries before we can get started here. So you need to write this down, and then you would need to change the totals. So I'll just do the best without, but we'll start with our sales, and we will so we'll start with our sales of 501. $50. All of these are going to be affecting our expenses. 501, 250, we're going to less our sales discounts, less our sales returns and allowances. And I do see that this is for, this is a bad example. Okay. I am going to change this question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a different one. So I'm going to give you perpetual on the final. So I have no point in doing this. I'll end this here and I'll put part 4 up here. Let me just change this because I might as well switch to something you get on your final.